Hey, Fabulous! So, welcome back to Favorite Friday. For the second case for this week, we are going back to Vegas. This specific case did get some coverage because, spoiler, our killers had actually went on the run and was apparently wanted like across the country. And so this happened like at least in like the early 2000s. So, by any chance you happen to remember this case, you've met our victim or killers in the situation or the assessor in the situation, definitely let me know. I'm going to give what's publicly down below. If you've heard the case, y'all know what to do. So, with that being said, I'm going to quit my rambling and let's go get started. So, of course, you already know this is a female killer channel, so we got to start with our female killer. Kelly Ann Ryan was born on July 10th, 1972. She originally had a plan to try out for the LA cheerleaders, so like be a college cheerleader essentially. But apparently, she would see a wrestling competition on TV, and this grabbed her interest. So, instead of trying out for the cheer team, she started doing like weightlifting and shit. And then apparently she would go into a contest called Miss Fitness, where she would win 7 years in a row. And so in 1999, she wound up meeting like our other main character in the story, Craig Titus. He was born January 17th, 1965, and he was the oldest of three. Apparently, he was apparently really scrawny in high school and started doing weightlifting, I guess, like to gain confidence, because like I said, he was pretty skinny. So in 1988, he actually went to his first bodybuilding competition and had actually won. And unfortunately, in 1995, he would get charged with the possession of ecstasy. He gets put on 16 months house arrest as punishment. And then apparently in July 1997, he gets arrested again for breaking parole because apparently he was over here doing steroids, which apparently he was very open. Like most people try to deny like, that they're ever using steroids, but apparently Craig was different because apparently he was very openly saying, yeah, I'm over here using steroids. So then, of course, Kelly and Craig, they wound up getting married in July of 2000, so not even within a year after they met. So then, of course, you can imagine, from what it seemed like, apparently Craig and Kelly were kind of named like a weightlifting like power couple. And so then one day Craig would meet a woman by the name of Melissa James at an event. She was born March 3rd, 1977. She apparently would start dancing at the age of 7. She graduated high school a year early. She would go on to attend Gulf Coast Community College for a business administration degree. She would go on to start her own business called Dance Unlimited at only the age of 19 in 1996. And apparently she would even offer scholarships for underprivileged children because dancing classes, as you can imagine, are pretty expensive. So it said that she actually appeared in Calvin Klein and in TV, which keep in mind, remember, this is the 90s. So apparently Calvin Klein and TV were like major accomplishments if you were to get on either one of those, but especially both. Like you probably would think that you were hot shit if you were on both of those, understandably. And apparently it said that she even cheered for a local football team. And then as you can imagine, like I said, she had a little business, but there were points her business were going slow. But she would try to work extra to simply keep the company up because she really was passionate about this dance company that she had. So then, like I said, she meets Craig at a fitness event. Doesn't specify what year, but apparently in 2002, he suggests that she quits her business that she started and moved to California. She apparently quits the business. In 2003, they apparently moved. Kelly and Craig, who are still married, they proceed to move to Vegas, which is in Nevada, and then Melissa joins them. So then apparently he offers her the position as a personal trainer, and she accepts. Sometime after, it said that she actually went back to Panama City, which I'm assuming Florida, because I don't know, right? And she tried to start up her business again. They said, this time come back. And then apparently, I guess she finally decided to give up, and apparently was done with her own business for good in 2005. So then I guess Craig somehow found out about this. So then he proceeds to offer her a management position, and she proceeds to fly back to Vegas, I guess, to like accept the position because it's better than like no income at all. So even though apparently she was supposed to be in a management position, which normally was supposed to be good pay, because again, these two are making pretty good money. Apparently she was more of like a secretary to the two, and apparently I guess she was pretty close with her mom. So she was over here telling her mom, listen, these two are over here regularly mixing drugs and are constantly in a state of paranoia. And I guess she was just concerned for her safety, understandably. So she was over here telling her mom, which was coming to handy like later. And then allegedly, again, I don't want to say this because we don't have Melissa's word on this, unfortunately. It's kind of a spoiler, but yeah. Melissa apparently was in an affair with Craig. And then allegedly, while this affair is going on, because again, there's no physical proof that apparently it happened, Craig would regularly tell Melissa to go get plastic surgery, which he actually would go do. And apparently it drastically changed how she looked. That's one of the downsides to plastic surgery, right? Depending on who you go to. And in December 2005, Kelly would actually convince Craig, allegedly, to apparently put her back on a one-way flight back to Panama City. So essentially fire her. I don't want to see her anymore because, she oversued my man. And the flight was supposed to leave for December 14th. So this is the story that they gave police that, we bought a flight ticket and she was supposed to go back on Panama City on December 14th. But what is actually believed to have happened is that Kelly and Melissa got into a fight, assumably over Craig, because again, they're both involved with him. And then apparently she apparently uses a stun gun on Melissa. And then Craig would apparently hear Melissa and Kelly fighting from another room. He comes in and pretty much strangles her with a tie at first, and then apparently a cord. So then they proceed to wrap duct tape around her face. And then Melissa's body is injected with morphine. So where they got morphine from, I don't even know. So before you even ask that. And then apparently Craig would ask this guy by the name of Anthony Gross, apparently very looked up to him, because again, he's like, Craig's apparently is like a pretty famous guy at this point. So Anthony is like a fan that looks up to him, and he's like, hey, help me, dispose of this woman if you're really a fan. And Anthony apparently actually helps. Kelly goes to Walmart and gets 7 bottles of lighter fluid, which I feel like would have been hella suspicious. And they go out to the desert, because it's Las Vegas, so there is desert. Melissa's body's in the trunk. They set her body on fire and leave her body there. And Anthony apparently had bought a lighter at Walmart and apparently left said lighter at the scene. Sorry. Anthony actually left behind a flashlight, not a lighter. So on December 14th, Melissa's body is found by firefighters. They're over putting out the fire, because I guess the car was like still on fire when firefighters came to the scene. She was originally named Sandy Valley Jane Doe because they couldn't identify her first. They proceed to run the plates, which I guess they didn't take the plates off, which good thing they didn't. The plates come back to Kelly Ryan. Well, they go to Kelly Ryan's house, expecting to be Kelly's body, who we just found. However, Kelly Ryan herself opens the door, because again, she's famous, it was, I guess, in that area at the time, I guess. And so they're surprised. And this is a red Jaguar. So they're asking, hey, do you know whose body this might be in a red Jaguar? I was like, well, listen, it might be my assistant, because, Melissa, because, she's been acting weird. She's on these drugs. She's been over stealing from us. When in reality, they were on the drugs. As far as we know, she wasn't doing them. But of course, we're trying to make it seem like, oh, well, it's on her. So whatever she did, that's on her. She stole our car and was on the drugs. And so Craig himself even had the audacity to actually call Melissa's mom and was like, hey, yeah, there's a body that's been found in Vegas in a little desert. That's not your daughter, even though, yeah, I just thought you should know that. And then, of course, Craig and Kelly would actually start packing their bags and ask for friends, is it possible I can go stay with you for a bit? And luckily, none of them was about it. So Craig apparently actually had a truck, and the police knew that he had a truck, and so he decided to trade in his truck so that he would not get recognized. And then the two actually got caught in Boston, Massachusetts, so all the way across the country, because apparently Kelly felt like getting her nails done. So I guess shout out to Kelly to getting her nails done, because that's how they got caught. But I feel like they would have got caught eventually, because this was back in 2005. So Craig pretty much tells police that, listen, yes, we did light this woman's body on fire, but she was already dead. We actually found her in the backseat of the red Jaguar with needles surrounding her. So basically, they're trying to suggest that she overdosed on drugs, she was a drug addict, all that stuff. So then, and pretty much tried to set the car on fire to save her reputation. And then, of course, police, I guess I didn't believe them, but somehow offered them a plea deal. And so Craig gets sentenced to 21 to 55 years. Kelly gets sentenced to 16 to 26 years. And Anthony, because he, from what we believe, was not involved in the actual murder, was just involved with disposing of the body, he gets charged with arson and accessory to murder after the fact. So Kelly, realizing, the depths of what she's done, she essentially files for divorce from Craig, and they are now legally divorced. Craig apparently actually tried to hire 3 hitmen to take out the witnesses who were the reason why he's even in jail. And these 3 are apparently Anthony, the same Anthony who helped him, the little fan, and apparently 2 people who he asked to hold a duffel bag, but they refused after they saw what was inside. It was believed to be evidence from the murder of Melissa. So then luckily the person who he thought was the hitman was actually a police informant, and I imagine extra charges were added to him because of this, but didn't say so. I feel like extra charges should be charged because you were trying to kill people because you couldn't get away with one murder. And so it said that Kelly apparently actually got released in 2017 after serving 9 years. So Kelly's out. Anthony's out. I didn't see what sentence Anthony got, but I like to imagine he's out too. And Craig is pretty much still in jail. And more than likely, he pretty much is going to die in jail. So, like I said, that's the case of the weightlifting murder. And so, with that being said, like I said, if you knew anybody involved in the case, if you knew Melissa, and this was back in 2005, whether you went to school with her, whether she was one of your dance teachers, because like I said, she did have that company for a little bit, definitely let me know. If you enjoy the content that you see on this channel, definitely subscribe for more Faith Females 3 times every Friday. And that's pretty much all I have in this case. Sources down below as always. You should see plenty more videos on this channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing. and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion. Even though I offer all of the solutions, I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid.